ओम शांति। मैं तो आप प्यारे बाप दादा के नूरे रत्नों का दर्शन करने आए थे।
I came to have a glimpse of Baba's
दर्शन
jewels.
से मन प्रसन्न होता है।
I'm very happy by seeing this scene of the lovely jewels
आप भी सभी विशेष आत्माएं हो
because you two are very unique souls
और हमारे बहुत प्यारे भाई बहनें हो।
and my very dear brothers and sisters.
भारत देश वाले तो सदा मिलते रहते हैं,
I keep meeting the Bharatvasis,
लेकिन आप दूर दूर से आई हुई
but you have come from far, far
विशेष
away,
आत्माएं,
very special souls.
जिनका मिलन भी जरूर विशेष ही होता है।
So this meeting is also very special because it is a meeting
तो ऐसे आप
with
प्यारे बाप
very
दादा के
special souls.
लाडले बच्चे कहूँ, नूरे रतन कहूँ,
Your
सिटी वाले
Baba's
बच्चे कहूँ,
very dear children, your Baba's jewels,
जिसको स्वयं भगवान भी
because God
आप सबके गुण गाते हैं
Himself actually sings praises
और हम भी आप
of
सबके
you,
गुण गाते हैं।
and we too sing the praise of you
क्योंकि
souls.
एक समय था साकार रूप में बाप दादा
There was a time
आप सबको
when
बहुत याद करते थे।
Brahma Baba was
बच्चे
remembering
एक
all
दिन
of you.
आएगा,
Brahma Baba would say that
मेरे विदेश के
one
प्यारे बच्चे
day my dear children from the foreign lands
बाप से मिलने
will
आएंगे।
definitely come to India to meet the
वो
Father.
गरीबी
That time will
अब
come,
प्रैक्टिकल में आ गई।
and now we see that the
आ गई
time
ना?
has come in practical.
इसीलिए इसी संगम के सुहाने घड़ी का ही गायन है।
So the confluence of this beautiful time
इतना अंतर
is
रहा,
very great.
आप लोगों का भी मिलन हुआ भगवान से
You too
और
have
हम
met
लोगों
the
का भी मिलन
Father,
हुआ भगवान से।
and we too met the Father, the Bharatvasis as well
लेकिन
as the foreigners.
उनके स्थापना का जो
We
कार्य
now
है
meet the Father together.
किस ढंग से रहा,
But at the time of
ये बहुत
establishment,
बड़ी विचित्र बात है।
the work done, the service done at that time was very
ऐसे
different
बाबा ने
and
अपने बच्चों
unique.
को बुलाया,
The way Baba called his children at the very
गीता
beginning,
बहन कहती है अपना अनुभव सुनाओ।
that is something to be shared with you, an
अनुभव तो
experience
वास्तव में
to be shared with you.
जीवन का बहुत लंबा चौड़ा है,
My experience is very
फिर
long,
भी थोड़े में शार्ट
very
में
wide, but in short, I will
आपके
share with
सामने
you
जरूर रखूंगी
my
बात
experience.
कि शुरू शुरू से ही जैसे कि साकार ब्रह्मा बाप को शिव बाबा ने साक्षात्कार कराया।
At the very beginning, Shiv Baba
उस
gave
समय ब्रह्मा बाप
visions to Sakar Brahma Baba.
बनारस में थे,
At that time, Brahma Baba
काशी
was
धाम जिसको कहते
in
हैं।
Banaras, a very
बाबा
holy
का तो
place.
कलकत्ते में जवाहरत का बिजनेस था
Even
बड़ा
today,
भारी,
Banaras, Kashi is considered a very
लेकिन
holy
बनारस में
place.
उनके क्लाइंट्स थे
His business was in Calcutta,
जिसके पास बाबा आए हुए
but
थे।
his clients were in Banaras. So Baba had come to see
तो
his
वहाँ
clients in Banaras.
उनके चबूतरे पर बाबा सुबह को जाके बैठ जाते थे,
Baba would go and visit his clients, his customers,
अपना योग अभ्यास करते थे।
and he had the habit of practicing yoga every morning.
वहाँ से बाबा को साक्षात्कार
At
हुआ,
that time, Baba had his first vision
बड़ा भारी विनाश होने वाला है।
that there is going to be a great
किस प्रकार से
destruction
होना
in
है
the world.
वो तो आप सभी ने सुन भी लिया है हिस्ट्री बाबा की।
And you have all heard about it in the history of Baba.
जब इतना बड़ा साक्षात्कार बाबा ने देखा,
When Baba had this big vision,
बाबा ने पूछा शिव बाबा से
he asked Shiv
कि अब
Baba,
मुझे बताओ मुझे क्या करना है।
"Tell me what I should do now."
तो शिव बाबा ने उनको प्रेरणा दी,
And Shiv Baba gave him
ऐसे तुमको नई
the
दुनिया रचनी
inspiration
है,
that he
ऐसी
has
दुनिया
to
बनानी है
establish the new world
राधे और कृष्ण का साक्षात्कार कराया।
And then he also gave him the vision of
यही प्रेरणा पाकर
Radhe
फिर बाबा
and
जल्दी
Krishna. And with this
बनारस
inspiration,
से कलकत्ते आए।
Baba quickly came back to Calcutta.
उस कोठी को हमने भी देखा, और ये जो गायन है काशी धाम का, इतना बड़ा गायन है शिव का,
Kashi is considered a very holy place and very
वो
well
प्रैक्टिकल
known.
जैसे सिद्ध हो गया स्थान।
And in that very place, he had these visions, so it became even
शिव के
more
वो लोग बलि चढ़ते हैं,
important in the
और
history of the
आज भी
yajna.
लौकिक रीति में
Even today in the
बलि
Laukic
चढ़ने का
world,
वहाँ स्थान था,
that is a place where people
और
go
है, अभी भी
to
है।
sacrifice, to renounce.
कैसे लोग बलि चढ़ते थे, सब कुछ दे करके पंडितों को,
People go there and give up all their
एक गुफा था,
worldly
बीच में तलवार थी,
treasures to the
और उसी
pandits
तलवार के बीच में
and
कूद
the
पड़ते थे।
saints over there.
जीते जी कूदना
There's a
है
big
तो
well
सारी
there.
जिंदगी मरने की बात,
There's a big well there,
लेकिन जीते जी कूद
and
जाना,
they would jump into that well.
ऐसे भी भावान भक्त बहुत रहे।
There have been many bhagats like this in the past
आप
that
जानते हो,
have
जीते
gone
जी
to
कोई तलवार के
Kashi
ऊपर कूदे,
and have jumped
जब
into a
तक शरीर
well
कटे
which is full of
तब तक तो शरीर
swords.
को कष्ट होता ही है,
So they jump into that well and they
और
give up
उसके
their
बाद
own
वे नीचे
life.
गिरते थे, नीचे गंगा बह रहती,
And at the bottom of the
फिर
well,
जल नहीं पा जाते थे, कहते थे
the
बह रही
river
है।
Ganges was flowing at the bottom of the well. And once they would
हम भी
die, it was
चेतना
a
की
very
भक्ति
slow
बहुत
death
हुई,
because they would fall into a
लेकिन
well full
भक्तों
of
के अंदर
swords.
भावना तो बहुत थी
But they had this,
मुक्ति प्राप्त करने की।
they had this very desire for liberation and this
ब्रिटिश
love for
गवर्नमेंट का
God,
राज था,
and they would do anything
उन्होंने
for
जब देखा
liberation. So
कि
they
ये
would jump
पंडित
into
लोग
the
इस
well
तरह से
full of swords and give
लोगों
up
का
their
जीवन
life.
घात करते हैं,
And when the Britishers came to
तो
India and
उन्होंने
saw
उसको
this,
सिस्टम को बंद करा दिया
they stopped this system because they thought this was a very
कि ये रॉन्ग है।
thought it was a very wrong
समझा?
system of giving up your
लेकिन
own
ब्रिटिश
life,
गवर्नमेंट तो फिर भी
even if
होगी,
it was even if it was in the sake
समझदार
of
थी।
religion and God.
स्थान अभी भी बना हुआ है
Even now, that place is still there in Kashi.
यादगार का, लोग अभी भी जाते हैं,
Even now, people go
वरदान पुण्य करके लौट
to
आते
see
हैं।
that well,
ये
but they
जो
just
सिस्टम थी
go
वो
and
खत्म कर
make a
दी।
big donation and they come back. Nobody
तो
gives up
सबसे
their
पहले
life
तो
now.
ब्रह्मा बाबा शिव बाबा के ऊपर बल चला,
So that is that giving
भक्ति मार्ग में हम
sacrifice
लोगों
of
ने
your
भी बहुत
life
चक्कर
there
लगाया
is
होगा,
was symbolic of
हम और
Brahma
आपने भी
Baba
लगाया होगा,
uh,
चारों
giving up
धामों
his
में चक्कर
life
लगाया होगा,
for Shiv
और
Baba.
आज भी भक्त लोग चक्कर तो लगा ही रहे, परंतु
And that is
अपन
a
को अब
place where
इस
Baba
रास्ता
had his
ज्ञान आ गया।
visions.
तो जैसे ब्रह्मा बाबा अपने भागीदार से जल्दी जल्दी हिसाब किताब चुकतू करके
Brahma Baba totally
फिर
renounced
हैदराबाद आ
everything
गए।
and he gave everything to his
ड्रामा
business
इतना अच्छा बना
partners
हुआ है,
in Calcutta. He gave up his
हम
business
सब जितनी भी
and he
पुरानी
came
बहनें
to
हैं,
Sindh, Hyderabad.
जो पहली बट्टी बनी थी लगभग 400 की,
The first bhatti that was
करीब
made
करीब सभी एक ही शहर के थे,
had about 400 sisters in it, all about from one town
तो भगवान
itself.
को ज्यादा ढूंढना नहीं पड़ा,
So God Himself didn't have to find
आपसी में
the
किसी न किसी की
souls
रिश्तेदारी
around.
भी थी,
We all were from one town and we all
और
were
वैसे मिलन
related
जुलन भी
to
होता
one
रहा।
another and we would keep meeting one another. In our Lokik life, we
अगर
were
दूसरे दूसरे शहर में होते तो शायद
related to each other. If you were from different towns
संदेश पा करके भी
and
आना
cities,
मिलना मुश्किल होता,
it may have been difficult to
लेकिन
come
ड्रामा बहुत अच्छा बना हुआ,
on hearing this message of
तो इतने
Baba.
सारे बाबा के बच्चे
But according to drama, so many
एक
of
ही स्थान
us,
पर थे।
all of us who were meant to be Baba's children, all belonged to one
तो जैसे
place.
ब्रह्मा बाबा पहले तो अपने मकान, छोटा मकान था,
Brahma Baba had a small house then,
उसमें थोड़ा सा बैठ करके सुनाते थे
so
सबको
he would have a
जो
gathering
नए नए
there
जुड़ने वाले थे।
and we would go and meet him there and he would
तुरंत
give
बाबा
us
ने
knowledge
बहुत बड़ा
there.
मकान बनाया
But then he soon made a very big
और
house
जिसका नाम रखा कौन सा,
and he
ओम
named
मंडली।
that house Om Mandli.
ओम मंडली के नाम से धीरे 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 आवाज फैलने लगा
And very soon this
कि
house
दादा
Om
बहुत अच्छा
Mandli became very popular
सत्संग
and
कराते हैं,
famous and that there's a
अभी तक किसी
person
ने ऐसा
called
सत्संग नहीं
uh,
कराया।
Brahma Baba who has
और
very
ऐसी
good
ओम की धुनी
gatherings there, and they
करते हैं
chant Om together.
जिससे मन अपने आप शांत हो जाता है।
And when you go and sit in that
ये
gathering,
आवाज
your
फैलते फैलते
mind
सब एक जगह
becomes very peaceful. So this
सुनाते
word
सुनाते
passed
उस
around the
सत्संग
whole
में
of
लेते गए।
town, and it was
ऐसे मैं भी किसी के
this
द्वारा
satsang,
सुनकर
this
के
little
मुझे भी
gathering of
लोग
people
लेके
who
गए।
would sit
तब
together in
मेरी
the
आयु
remembrance of
12-13
God
साल के अंदर
is
थी।
called a satsang. This satsang became very famous and popular then. Even now in
हफ्ते
Lokik
में
world, people have
3 दिन
satsangs
सत्संग
in
होता
their
था।
houses on special days, on special like Janamashtami or Shivratri. People
और
still
मैं
have
आपको
satsangs
बताऊं
in the
इस
house.
सत्संग की
The families gather together,
शोभा
friends
बड़ी
and
निराली
families
थी।
gather together. They sing songs in the praise of God, and they
ऐसा
sing
कोई
all
सत्संग
night.
नहीं
The children, adults, everybody sits together.
जहाँ इस प्रकार के
It's a
नियम
very
हो।
common feature in every home even today.
वो नियम कौन से थे?
So we all were
सबसे
part
पहले
of
तो
that
खान पान की
satsang,
शुद्धि।
and we had to follow certain rules and principles. And the first thing was to have pure food.
दूसरी बात, कभी रोना नहीं।
Secondly, we were told that we must never cry.
रोती है विधवा, ये बाबा के शब्द थे।
Only the widows cry. Baba used to say, only widows cry.
दुख के आंसू कभी नहीं बहाने हैं,
Never,
प्रेम के आंसू भरी बहाओ।
never let tears of
दुख के आंसू
unhappiness
नहीं
come
बहाने
from your
हैं।
eyes. You may have tears of happiness coming, but not tears of
और तीसरी
unhappiness and
बात ये थी,
sorrow. And thirdly, Baba
अगर
said,
कोई किसी भी कारण से कड़वा शब्द बोलता है या
if
किसी को
anyone
दुख
speaks
देता
to
है,
you bitterly or gives you any kind of sorrow,
तो ये भी वास्तव में होना नहीं चाहिए।
this
ये 3 बातों की शर्त थी।
should not happen. You should be careful not
और
to
हर एक को काम
make
में लेती थी
anyone unhappy or give anybody sorrow.
घर ले जाने के लिए।
And each of us were given a book
और इन
to
3
take
बातों
home,
का रिस्पॉन्स जब आते थे,
and we had to
तो 2
write down,
बहनें पैरे पर रहती थी।
and every day we would come
किसी की
back
छाती
and
पे।
write down our chart
उसमें एक
on
तो
these
हमारी
3
बड़ी दीदी
points
थी, वो
on
कापी
this
लेती थी।
book. So 2 sisters were in charge of
और
checking these
दूसरी एक
books.
बहन थी,
One was Bari Didi, Manmoni
शांतामणि
Didi,
दादी की भाभी।
and another Didi was
सबसे कापी
the
लेती थी और
sister-in-law
कापी
of
कंफर्म
Shanta
करके
Mani Dadi.
और वापसी में उनको देती
They
थी।
would collect these books from us, correct
भला
it,
ऐसा कभी
and
सत्संग
then give
होता
it
है क्या?
back. Have you ever heard of
लोग
such a
जाते हैं, कथा सुन के
satsang?
चले आते हैं।
Not really, because people just
लेकिन शुरू
go,
से ही बाबा ने
listen to a lecture, sing some songs in the praise of God, and come back.
ऐसे नियम वाले
But
लोगों को
we had
बुलाया
certain rules to follow where we had to
कि
maintain a
बहुत
book
भीड़ भी ना हो और आते ही जीवन
about
में
our
कुछ
self
धारणा बन
progress,
जावे।
because we had
ये
to
नहीं सुन करके घर में फिर वैसे के वैसे हो
have
जाते हैं।
dharna in our life from the very beginning. The main
तो
purpose of the
स्थापना का
satsang
कार्य
was
जो
to
शुरू
come,
से
to
हुआ,
listen, and then
इस
to
तरह से हुआ।
inculcate in our life immediately.
लोग बहुत खुश होने लगे।
A lot of
1-2 के
people who
द्वारा
came
बड़े-बड़े सब लोग
were
आने
very
लगे
happy with this kind of satsang, and the
और
word
सबको
passed
बहुत
around,
अच्छा लगता था।
and more people joined the satsang. They liked the satsang a
हमारी
lot.
मातेश्वरी और भी हमारी बहनें जो आज है,
A lot of our
थोड़ी
sisters
छोटी वो अवस्था में थी,
are still here today
वाइट
who
ड्रेस पहन करके
joined
सब
the
आते थे।
satsang in those days. We used to
सिंध
wear white
देश में एक
dress
ये भी रस्म थी,
and come to
अगर
the
किसी का
satsang.
लौकिक पति मर जावे
In Sindh,
या बड़ा
it
बेटा
was
मर जावे,
customary that if
तो वो शोक
somebody's
के कपड़े 12 मास पहनती थी।
if somebody's husband or somebody's eldest
तो
son
सत्संग का ये नियम था
passed away,
कि यहाँ शोक के
that
कपड़े पहन
lady
के नहीं आना है।
would wear white clothes for 1 year.
जिसको आना है वाइट कपड़े पहन करके आवे, वाइट ड्रेस में आवे।
So one of the rules of coming to the satsang was
तो
to
ये भी
wear
माताओं ने जैसे धारण कर लिया
white clothes.
कि हमको शोक की दुनिया में न रहना है और न शोक की ड्रेस पहननी। ये भी सबको मंजूर था। इस प्रकार से इतना सत्संग बढ़ गया, जो बड़े-बड़े हॉल बाबा के 2 थे, उसके बीच की दीवार भी तोड़ दी।
Then Baba had 2 halls in his house, but soon he had to break the wall between the 2
लोग आने
halls
लगे और
because the
बहुत
number
खुश
of
थे।
people increased day by day.
परंतु धीरे-धीरे अन्न की शुद्धि का ज्ञान तो मिल गया, लेकिन लेकिन पवित्र जीवन भी अपना
We were
ही है
told
अगर
about
देवता बनना है
the
तो।
purity of food that we have to take, but then we were also told about purity in our
बाबा ने
life,
ब्रह्मा के द्वारा इस बात का भी
which was
इशारा किया।
necessary to become a deity. So Shiv
भला कोई
Baba
ऐसा सत्संग होता है
gave
क्या जहाँ
the
ये सिखाते हैं?
instruction of having a
ये
pure
धारणा मिले,
life too to
लेकिन
Brahma
ये तो
Baba,
बिल्कुल
to
न्यारी
us.
निराली बात है ना,
But this was something very
क्योंकि बाबा
different for
आया
all
ही है
of us,
पावन दुनिया की स्थापना करने।
something that was very new for all of us.
भगवान का तो यही काम है ना, इसके लिए तो आया है ना।
Well, God's main
हम जब
task
तक पावन नहीं बनेंगे
was to establish a
तो
new
पावन
world
दुनिया की स्थापना कैसे होगी?
and make us pure souls to go into the new world.
मंदिरों में
So
देवी
unless we do
देवताएं
not
पावन
become
है, पवित्र
pure,
है ना।
how do we go into the new world? Because even in the temples
अपवित्र
today,
आत्माएं उनके आगे सिर झुकाती है।
the deities are pure souls, and the impure souls
अब जब
actually
ऐसी
bow
बातें
down their
धारणा
heads in
में
front
आने
of these
लगी
pure souls.
तो
When
थोड़ा
more points of dharna were
लोगों के मन
placed
में
in front of us, that was when
हलचल आने लगी।
some kind of disturbance came into
भाई
the
ऐसा
minds
भी
of the people
क्या
who were attending the satsang,
गृहस्थ जीवन में अभी
because
भी
they all were
ब्रह्मचर्य की धारणा,
householders and they thought about uh,
चलो हम लोग तो कर लेंगे,
the fact that they have to
लेकिन
be
ये जो आज की
celibate,
लड़कियां हैं हम लोगों के लिए
a
कहेंगे,
bit strange,
कल ये भी कहेंगी
because
शादी
they
अब तो
all
नहीं
had
करनी,
daughters and
फिर
sons,
क्या
and
होगा?
they didn't like the idea that their children would one day say that they don't want to get married.
और उनके मन में ये भय था
And they were afraid
क्या
that this
ये
particular
दादा बाबा को कहते थे ये
dharna
तो दादा
would break
वृद्धावस्था वाला है
homes.
ना,
And they also thought that
क्योंकि आप
Brahma
सबको
Baba
तो मालूम
himself
है
was in
60
his
वर्ष
old
में तो
age.
लोग वानप्रस्थ अवस्था को धारण
He had
करते हैं
crossed 60 years.
और यहाँ 60 वर्ष के
And in
अंदर ही
India, after 60,
शिव
people
बाबा
go
ने
into kind
ब्रह्मांतर में
of
प्रवेश करके
vanprasth life,
इतने बड़े बच्चों की जिम्मेदारी ब्रह्मा बाबा को
where
दे दी,
they turn and they renunciate and they look towards God after
इतना
60.
बड़ा काम दे दिया, तो लोगों के मन में ये आया गया संशय
So they had this
कि ये
doubt in
दादा
their mind
वृद्धावस्था वाला है,
that the
कब वह
Dada,
तुम
Brahma
लोगों को
Baba,
खिलाएगा,
is
कल ये न रहे
60
तो
years
आप लोगों के
old
जीवन का क्या
and he
होगा?
may not live long. And how long
ऐसी
can he,
ख्यालात उनके मन में
you know,
आना एक
keep all
संभव बात
these
थी।
young
अज्ञानी लोगों
people
की
with
बुद्धि में
him
तो
in
यही
his
रहता है भाई इनको
ashram?
कौन खिलाएगा,
Who will look after
कौन संभालेगा,
our young girls
ये
and
न
our
रहे
young
तो
boys after
ये तो ज्ञान उनकी
Dada
बुद्धि
is
में
no
नहीं था
more,
ना,
after Brahma Baba is no more?
तो इस रीति से उन्होंने
So for this reason, they thought it
अब
very
सब लोगों
important
के ऊपर धीरे
that they
धीरे
should have their daughters and their sons
रोक टोक
settled
लगाना शुरू
in
कर दी,
life. So that's the time they stopped their
समझा?
daughters from going into the satsang.
लेकिन एक बड़ी निराली बात थी, बाबा ने एक सबको कह रखा था कि आप अपने लौकिक परिवारों से
But
एक
Baba
पत्र लिखा के ले आओ
had told all of us that we must get a
कि
letter
मैं
from
अपनी
our
बेटी
Lokik
को,
homes saying that
अपनी पत्नी को,
uh, I
अपनी
permit
बहू को
my daughter, my
या अपनी
wife,
माँ
or
को,
my
जो भी
sister
जिसका
in law,
रिश्ता है,
or my daughter in law, or my mother,
इस सत्संग में
I
आने की खुशी
permit
से
her
छुट्टी देते
to
हैं।
come and join my satsang with my full consent and
भगवान
happiness.
को तो पहले से पता ही था,
Because he knew from the very
इन
start
बातों
that
का ब्रह्मा
there
बाबा को
would
भी ज्ञान नहीं था,
there would surely
शिव बाबा
be
ने प्रवेश किया तो वो
objection.
जो कार्य ब्रह्मा बाबा से कराता रहा, अब
Shiv
पत्र
Baba
लिखने के लिए
knew
तो
that one day there would be objection on this point. So he gave this knowledge to Brahma
आनाकानी
Baba
करने लगे,
that a letter
का
should be
सत्संग है
obtained
भली आओ और जाओ ना,
before the daughters
इसी
came into the
सत्संग में ये थोड़ी
satsang.
दिखाया जाता है कि भाई हम खुशी से छुट्टी देते हैं, लेकिन भगवान को तो पता था ना आगे क्या होने वाला है, तो जब भी वो रोकते थे हम लोगों को,
So
हम
whenever
कहते थे
our
हम अपने आप
parents
थोड़ी गए हैं,
would
आपने तो छुट्टी दी है ना,
would stop us from going, we would
वो
remind them
हैरान रहते
that
थे, हमने तो खुद ही अपने हाथों को काट लिया, अब
they
क्या
would
करेंगे,
we would remind them by saying that you're the one who's
ये
given us
सबके
permission
पत्र
to
रखे
go,
हुए थे ऑफिस में,
because they had at one time given
संभाल
letters
करके
to
रखे हुए
Baba
थे,
that their daughters and mothers and
लोगों ने
sisters
सोचा
can
कि
attend
सबसे
the
पहले हम इन
satsang.
पत्रों को खत्म करें, कैसे करें,
And these letters were lying in
तो जहाँ
Baba's
ये पत्रों की
possession.
वो बेटी रखी हुई
So
थी,
what the parents wanted to do was to
उसको
destroy these
आग लगाने
letters.
की इन्होंने कोशिश
They they wanted to actually burn the box in which these letters were lying,
रुई में
so
तेल
that
डाल
they
करके
could
खिड़की
stop
से
their sisters and daughters from going
उन्होंने
there.
रुई को फेंका, आग लगेगी.
So they actually made an attempt to
लेकिन
set the box on
ड्रामा का
fire.
अद्भुत राज है,
But in drama,
अचानक ही किसकी नजर पड़ गई
it happened
फायर
that
गैलरी से
just when somebody was trying to
कि किसी ने आग लगाई
light
है.
fire into the room
जल्दी
where
दरवाजा
the
खोला
box was lying,
और आग
somebody
बुझ
saw
गया.
this happening and quickly put out the fire.
उसका गायन है शास्त्रों में
And this too is
कि
symbolic
लाखा भवन को आग
in our
लगाई.
scriptures.
ये गायन है.
In one of the stories of
लाखा
scriptures,
भवन माना
it is
बाबा का
mentioned
नाम दादा लेखराज था शुरू में.
that Baba's name was Dada
तो
Lekhraj.
लखीराज लेखराज उसके नाम से गायन है कि लाखा भवन को आग
So there's a story in the scripture
सुना.
that says Lakha Bhavan because it's after his name Lekhraj,
आग
and there
तो
was
लगनी
a
थी
story
नहीं.
where it said Lakha Bhavan ko aag lagai, putting
उन्होंने सोचा
setting the room on
हम लोगों ने
fire,
जो
which was called
प्रयत्न किया
Lakha
वो भी
Bhavan.
हमारा सफल नहीं हुआ.
So that room was actually saved,
अब
and
क्या
so was
करें.
the box where the letters were lying.
अब धीरे 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 ड्रामा शुरू होता है. बड़े बड़े लोग जो आने लगे वो भी थोड़ा हट गए, खिसक गए.
Some
अब
important
उसने
people
अपने
who
अपने
were attending
परिवारों
the
को कुछ
satsang,
जो दे रखी थी
they slowly
उनके
backed
ऊपर वो
away
कुछ कर
and they withdrew from attending the satsang, and they even stopped their
इन्होंने दो
family
दो
members
सालों के अंदर बंद किया.
from attending the
माना घर
satsang.
भरा है,
And
एक
many
कमरे
of
से
them
दूसरे
actually
तीसरे में आना जाना
started
नीचे
locking
उतरना.
up their daughters
तो
and their
सात सात
sisters
ताले
and
लगा रहे
mothers
थे
in the house in a room and putting 7
ताकि ये लोग
locks
कभी
on the
जा ना
room
सके.
so that they could never go out of the room and attend the
अब
satsang.
जैसे हम जैसी कन्याएं हैं उनको रोकने लगे.
And we too were little girls then, and we were stopped from going too.
अब जितनी वाह थी इतना ही हंगामा तो धीरे धीरे
And the
शुरू
kind
होने
of
लगा.
praise that was sung about the satsang at one time, now it turned
लोग
just
कहने
the
लगे ऐसा
opposite.
क्या सत्संग,
People actually started
ये
defaming the
कौन सिखा
satsang,
के.
and they didn't like the
जैसे आप
things
लोग
that were
देखते हैं
being
ना आज की
taught at the
दुनिया में लोगों को
satsang. They didn't like the points of
सन्यासी
dharana
लोग घर बार छोड़
that
के
were being placed
जंगलों
before
में चले जावे उसके लिए किसको
the
परवाह नहीं
people
है.
attending the satsangs.
घर वाले कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे, लेकिन नारी जाति पावन बनने की प्रतिज्ञा करे
Even in India
उसके ऊपर
today,
रुकावट डालना शुरू कर दी.
if a woman wants to be pure
समझा.
and live a celibate life, people will not agree to it. They will create a big,
एक दिन बाबा ने
big obstacle in the way of the woman.
डायरेक्शन दिया.
But if a man wants to
हम
leave,
हैदराबाद सिंध में थे
renunciate and go into the
और
jungle and
हैदराबाद
become
सिंध
a
से 4
sannyasi or
जन
a
आ गए
saint,
हैदराबाद कराची में.
there's not much of
समंदर का
objection on
किनारा,
that.
वो भी शहर था बहुत बड़ा. हैदराबाद हिल स्टेशन था छोटा, वो भी बहुत अच्छा शहर था. तो बाबा ने कहा कि ये जैसे स्कूल में नहीं एक्सकर्शन होती है तो घूमने जाती है एक मास के लिए.
Baba took us all to a hill
ऐसे ही समझो
station.
एक मास के लिए जिनको छुट्टी मिले
We were
वो एक
asked
मास
to
के लिए
take
कराची शहर में
permission
चले.
and to go
अब यहाँ
into
से
a
स्थापना
hill
होती है.
station in Karachi.
तो कई तो परिवारों के परिवार तैयार हो गए जाने के लिए.
Baba thought like it was a good idea to
मकानों
take
का हम
everyone
लोग का
away
बाबा ने प्रबंध करा दिया,
and
सब
move
प्रकार
for
का
a
खान
month
पान
to
का
Kashi,
सब प्रबंध
to
हो गया.
Karachi.
लेकिन
He
हुआ क्या,
arranged for houses there,
हम जैसी 8-9 बहनें थी
but they were about like me.
जो
There
सब
were
बांधेली बन गई थी.
8 to 9 young sisters
माता पिता ने छुट्टी
who
नहीं दी, हम छुट्टी
did
नहीं
not get the
सोचा ये
permission
जाएंगे तो लौट के तो
from our
आएंगे.
parents to go with Baba because they thought that
तो सब लोग
once
चले
we
गए
go, we will not come back.
और
So
हम
the
लोगों
rest
के
of the
आगे
group
तो 2 दिन समझो
left for
सख्त पहरा था.
Karachi, and we young girls were not
कोई
allowed to
घर से
go,
बाहर निकल नहीं सकता.
and we were locked in rooms. And there were actually guards outside our room to make sure that we don't leave.
उसमें मैं भी एक थी.
I was also one of those girls.
आप समझ सकते हो उस समय इस आत्मा का क्या हाल हुआ होगा. मन में तो बड़ी लगन थी कि इतनी बहनें बाबा के संग रहेंगी.
We all had the
क्या न भक्ति
desire
करके वो
to
कितनी ना आगे बढ़
stay
जाएंगी।
and to live with Baba,
और
because
हम
so
तो
many
पीछे के
sisters
पीछे
had
रह
gone
जाएंगे।
with Baba and they would have the sustenance of Baba,
लेकिन ड्रामा
and we
की
had that
भाभी ऐसी है,
very
कुछ कर
much
नहीं सकती।
uh, pull in us that we should also be there with Baba and the other
उसके पहले
sisters.
मैं आपको एक बात बताऊं, बचपन से हमारे संस्कार,
And I would like to mention one thing about my
श्री
sanskars
कृष्ण से मेरा
from
बहुत
my very
कनेक्ट है।
childhood. I had very great affection and love for Sri Krishna.
भागवत जब मैं पढ़ती थी
When I
मुझे
would
बहुत अच्छा
read
लगता था,
the Bhagavad Gita, I would like it very much.
जिसमें ये खास चैप्टर था
There was a chapter in the
कि
Bhagavad
कैसे
Gita
गोपियों को रोकते और गोपियां विलाप
in
करती
which
रोती हैं।
it was mentioned how the gopis who would like to go
मेरे मन में
and
संकल्प आया
be with Krishna was stopped from
कि
going to
भगवान अगर
him.
आप भी मुझे ऐसी गोपी बना देते ना
So
अपनी,
I had
तो
this
कितना ना
thought
अच्छा
in my
होता।
mind, if I could be a gopi, I could
लेकिन
also
मैंने ये नहीं सोचा कि आखिर वो दिन आएगा
go to Sri Krishna.
जो मेरा ये भाग्य बन जाएगा।
But I did not
और आप
understand
भी
then that yes, one day in life I will be like a gopi who would be
अब
wanting to
बोलो
go to Sri Krishna.
उस समय क्या हाल हुआ होगा जो बहनें नहीं गई होंगी।
So can you imagine our state or the
हम
kind
लोगों
of
को तो
condition we
भूख
were
लगी है,
in
प्यास लगे,
at that time when we were told we cannot join Brahma
माँ
Baba?
को कहने लगे तुमने क्या किया हमारे साथ।
We started talking to our mothers and telling them that they're doing a lot of injustice to us by not letting us go and join Brahma
फिर
Baba.
उन्होंने देखा ये लोग खाते पीते नहीं है कुछ भी,
We gave up food and
तो
water
उनको अपने आप तरस पड़ने लगा।
and we stopped eating
उन्होंने कहा
totally.
यहाँ जो मंदिर का
So
हमारा
our parents got very
स्थान
worried
है,
and started
जो
taking
कुछ
pity
बहनें
on
गई
us.
हुई है वो आपस में आके मिलती है, सत्संग करती है, तो वो तो आप हमको करने दे सकती हो ना।
So then we told our parents that they
तब वो
should
लोग तैयार
allow
हो गए,
us
हमको छुट्टी दी, तब
uh,
हमने भोजन पाया।
to
एक
allow
दिन हमने
us to
भोजन ही नहीं पाया।
have a gathering of our own young sisters
गोपियों को भी तो तरस
who
पड़ा।
liked going to the Om Mandali, to let us meet once a while and have a
अब हम
gathering of
जब
our
वहाँ
own.
गए, जो
And to
बहनें
that
नहीं
they
गई थी
agreed.
आपस में मिलने लगे,
They agreed to let us have our own
तो
little
सबके मन
gathering.
में कितनी तड़फन होगी।
So we would meet together and
कि वहाँ तो देखो
we
सब
would
कितना
all discuss on the same point
अकेले
that
सुख लूट रहे हैं बाबा के साथ में।
we wish we could join Brahma
जाना
Baba
रतन
and the other
खुशी भर रही
sisters
है,
where they have
और
gone.
हम बहनें यहाँ बैठे
And we
हैं,
sisters, about 8, 10 of us, we are
तो
here
हम लोगों से भी
and
रहा
we
नहीं
don't
गया।
have the privilege of going there.
क्या किया होगा,
So what do you think we all did?
आपस में प्लान बनाया,
We made a plan together.
चलो एक बारी हम देख के तो आए, होके तो आए, चाहे
We
2-4 दिन
decided
के
let
लिए।
us just go for a few days and check
हमको
out
बड़ी तड़फन थी
what it will be like to be there
तो
with
ये
Baba,
प्लान
because we
बनाया
were very
कि एक तो हैदराबाद स्टेशन से
very
बहनें
keen
जाएंगी
to
जिसको
join
बहुत
Baba.
डर नहीं है, और जिसको थोड़ा डर है वो और आगे स्टेशन से बैठे।
We decided to
वहाँ
go
तो
in 2
देखेंगे घर
groups
में नहीं आइए लौट करके तो स्टेशन
and
में
board
आना
the
नहीं,
train from 2 different stations.
तो और हम सख्त बंद हो जाएंगे।
We didn't want anyone to be suspicious of the fact that we were going.
तो दिन हम लोगों ने मुकर्रर किया
So we fixed a day
और बाबा को खबर दे दी कि हम
and
लोग
we
आ रहे
sent
हैं
news to Baba that we are coming
फलानी गाड़ी से।
by so and so train.
तो हम लोगों ने कुछ भी घर से नहीं लिया,
We did not carry anything from home. We were totally
थोड़ा
empty
टिकट,
handed.
उसमें टिकट का तो बहुत पैसा लगता नहीं था।
The ticket did not cost much money.
एक ड्रेस पड़ी थी और एक ड्रेस और अंदर पहन ली।
We were wearing one dress.
बाबा के पास पहुँचे,
We wore one dress
दूसरा तो कपड़ा हो कम से कम पहनने के लिए
on
चाहिए।
top and another one underneath. We wore 2 dresses, one top of the other,
वो घर
so
वालों
that
को
when
तो
we
पता ही
would
नहीं
reach,
लगा,
we could just remove the dress on top. We did not want a house people at home to know
बस
that we were
ऐसे ही
leaving
सब लोग
town.
निकल पड़े।
So we were wearing
न
2
भोजन
dresses,
वोजन की
one top of
परवाह
the
कुछ
other.
भी नहीं,
We didn't care about food, water,
जैसे
or
पहुँच
carrying
गए
any
रिसीव
belonging
करने
with
के लिए
us.
आए हम लोगों को।
So once we reached there,
अब जैसे जैसे टाइम बीतता जावे
the sisters came to
तो
receive
घर
us.
वाले हैरान होने लगे, अभी तक आई नहीं,
And then very soon the people
ये
at
लोग क्यों
in
नहीं
our
आई।
house, our parents got very worried
बेचैन
because they
हो गए,
realized that we were not coming home.
एक दो के घर में गए
They
पूछने के लिए,
started
भाई
going to
तुम्हारी
each
लड़की
other's
आई,
house
वो कहते मेरी
and
लड़की
finding
नहीं
out,
आई,
has your daughter
रोने
come
लगे।
home? And
फिर
all the
दूसरे के
mothers
घर में गए,
started
तुम्हारी
crying
लड़की आई,
because they soon found out
गाय
that
लोगों ने तो बड़ा
all the
धोखा
daughters
दिया,
were
बड़ी चालाक
missing.
निकली है,
They realized that our daughters were very
ऐसे करते
clever
करते
and they had kind of deceived their
रोने
mothers and
लगी, सब
fathers
शांत हो गई।
and left.
बाबा ने कहा बच्ची आइयो सबसे पहले अपने घर में तार दो
As soon as we reached Baba, Brahma Baba told us that we should send a telegram immediately to our homes and inform our parents that we are here, we are fine, and that they should not worry about us.
समझा? लेकिन बाबा ने हम लोगों को कहाँ अपने भवन में नहीं रखा,
But Baba did not keep us in his house, which was on rent. Even Didi, Manmoni Didi, was also in bondage then, and Baba had taken a different flat for them. So Baba kept us with her in that flat. He did not keep us with him. People would raise objection to the point on the fact that we were staying with him. They would say that he has made the girls run away. So he made us stay in a different house with big Didi.
इतने में एक कोई सूरदास था, वो निकल पड़ा, घर वालों को कहने लगे कि दादा ने इन्हों को जादू लगाया है, जादू पता है।
Then there was one person who suddenly appeared and said that there's a Baba, Brahma Baba, who has done magic on your daughters and taken your daughters away. So I'm giving you a few things now, that if you throw this on your daughters, if you spray or throw these things on your daughters, the effect of the magic will wear off and your daughters will come back to you. So there was another mandli form called the anti-om mandli. So Manor Dadi's mother came first to meet us. She came to see us in that separate bungalow we were staying in. So we could not actually stop her from meeting us. So Brahma Baba said, you should meet your mother. So while she was talking to Manor Dadi, they had kept the car waiting out. They had kept the car waiting out, and they took her by her hair, her plait, and they put her in the car, and they took her back home. So very soon all the mothers started coming one by one to take their daughters away. They had bought some magical things with them, some kind of grains. They were told, our mothers were told that when they meet their daughters, they should throw these grains on them, and the effect of the magic will wear off, and your daughters will come back to you. So about 7-8 mothers came to the bungalow to take their daughters back. So each daughter, was with her mother, and we all were fighting and arguing. Each mother was arguing and fighting with her daughter. There was a group of us there. We all were saying that we're not going to go back, and all the mothers were saying that you have to come back with us. But they realized that the effect of magic was not was not having any effect on us, because actually there was no magic in what they had. It was only their superstition. It was a very sad thing that the people of Om Mandli do magic and take your daughters away. They tried a lot to take us back. Our mothers tried a lot to persuade us to come back. But they all returned back. They went back crying because none of us went back with them. Then the anti-Om Mandli made a plan. That they would get us back legally. They made a plan to get us back legally. If you were not of the required age, if you were younger than the required age, in those days, a 16-year-old girl was considered to be senior. But they changed that rule and they said that until you're 18, you are not a senior to leave your house. So with that, putting that rule, they started taking back their daughters. So the warrant came, a warrant of this arrest came even for me. And Baba, and I started crying because I said I don't want to go, and I was 16, and my parents, the rule that was passed was that if you're 18, only then you can leave your home, and the law would not listen. And Baba says, you go and tell the judge, and you appeal to him that you want to stay here. And Dadi said, I started crying and saying that if I go, I will not be allowed to come back. But they passed this law and this rule. And so then they forcibly took us away in the car. So we all came back to our own homes the next day. And then what they did with us was not very good. This person who claimed to do magic, called Surdas, would come to our house and every day and sprinkle water and give certain kind of fruits. And they tried to do magic on me for 6 months, sprinkling water, giving me different kind of foods to eat. One or two of the girls who went with me got scared and became weak. And Surdar said that she has been under the influence, is more powerful and under the influence of the Om Mandli magic. So it's taking time to wear off. So he tried a lot to remove that magic from me, but nothing worked. None of his techniques worked. I find it very amusing when I hear somebody saying that somebody has done magic on somebody. But actually it is only the weakness of the mind. But what we had was the connection and the relationship with God Himself. So then no magic or of the worldly life can influence us. For 6 months, that man Surdas kept trying. To remove the magic of own Mandli that was on me. So she used to tell him on his face that you are a big liar, because when I sit quietly you say the magic is worn off, and the minute I start speaking you say that the magic is back, but actually there's no magic on me at all. So I told my mother, you're wasting your money and your time. She says, because I've already been I'm already under the magic of God and the love of God, and this magic cannot wear off. I have received the magic of God's company, His knowledge, His jewels, and this magic is permanent. So once a while my friends would come and meet me, and they would tell my mother to let me come out with them to just to go out for an outing. And my friends would pretend to be of the Lockic world, and they would actually come and take me out and take me to Om Mandli, where I could go and meet everyone. But they would tell my parents, my mother, that they do not go to Om Mandli. And Manor Dadi was one of them who would come to meet me. They would disguise themselves and come and see me, and actually take me to Om Mandli instead. They would come in colored clothes, and they would give a different name and play a different role in front of my mother. But very soon even this role played by my friends was discovered, And my mother was suspicious that they actually take me to the Mandli.
ये लोग बाहर फॉरेन में भेजने के लिए कोशिश की। मेरी बहन मेरे भाई सब थे, इनको यहाँ भेज दो।
And very soon they tried to send me abroad so that they could get rid of this nuisance of me wanting to go to an Mandli. I thought this was a very difficult situation now, because if they send me to a different country, how will I have Baba and how will I get Baba's knowledge? All the preparation was done, my ticket was made. So she told her brother and her sisters and her mother, she says, if you take me forcibly, I will get you arrested. I will say that you are taking me by force. I will say that I don't know who you are. She says, I will see that you are put into jail. So she told her family members that if you want to be put in jail, you can take me with you, because I'm going to totally not acknowledge the fact that I know you, and I'm going to tell the police to arrest you. I'm going to tell them that you're taking me by force to another country. So then they got scared and then they cancelled my program. They got afraid. And then my brother came to me and he had great love for me. And he said, what's the matter? And she says, all I want to do is go to the satsang, go to Mandli. And do you think I'm doing anything wrong? I'm going into a religious group. And do you see any weakness in me? Do you see any bad habits in me? Am I following a wrong path? You're seeing me as I am, and I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not. My character is correct. So why cannot I go to the Mandli? So my brother felt a bit sorry for me, and he gave me permission to go out once a while. And he would take me with him. He and his wife would take me with him out for a while now and then. But inside me, my soul was really yearning to meet Baba. I had this desire within my soul that I want to meet Baba at least once more. And one day I had this thought that I have to meet Baba today. So I was out with my younger sister. So I told my sister that, you take some fruits, you buy some fruits, and I'm just coming. So my sister thought that, she should buy me some fruits. And while she was buying the fruits, Dadi just ran away from there. As soon as her sister turned her back, she ran away into the little lanes and ran as fast as she could and went into the houses of one of the other sisters who was a regular at Mandli. She ran non-stop and went to that house. And my sister went home crying. She started looking for me all over the streets. She couldn't find me. She went home crying and was scolded really badly by my parents. Now the sister whose house I went to, she was very happy to see me. And she said, quickly, you must hide me. Otherwise somebody is going to come and find me right now. Because everyone at my home knows that I would have possibly come to you. So please hide me as fast as you can. So she says, there's a cupboard here of dirty clothes. There are holes in it. You take out those dirty clothes from that cupboard and let me sit in this cupboard. And on top of me, you put some clothes. I was scared inside. But I went and sat in that cupboard and I hid there. And as soon as I went and hid in that cupboard, my sister actually came to look for me in this sister's house. And she came and threatened the sister by saying that, I'm sure my sister came here and you've hidden her here. and the other members went to the station to look for me. And she says, I'm sure my sister is hiding here somewhere. So the sister said, well, you can have a look around in the whole house and see for yourself if she's here. She looked all around, my sister looked all around. She abused and shouted and called names, and then she left. And once she left, I came out of the cupboard. That evening I went to a lawyer, and I went to him and I told him what my family members had been doing with me for the past 6 months, and that they had been torturing me and they had been stopping me from going to meet Baba. So she told him that she is going to go to Baba no matter what happens. So she told this mother, the sister whose house she was hiding in, that she should put her on a train at night so that she can reach Baba the next day. So she says, I will not go in white clothes. I will wear one of your colored saris, and I will wear some of your jewelry, and I will look like a bride, like a married person, and I'm going to dress up and cover my head with a ghungat, the sari falling over my face so that I cannot be seen, and I'm going to be dressed up and sit in the train. So Dadi went dressed up, and she reached Baba the next day, and she went in Baba's lap the next day, and she went to Baba's home. And Baba knew how I had come, that I had been in bondage. Baba had kept 2 cows then. One cow was named Mira.
फिर इसी तरह से जो है हम वहाँ पहुँच तो गए। उस समय सनिस्ता के ऊपर दफा 144 लगा हुआ था।
Now once I reached there, I got to know that there had been a case, as there was a case on the Om Mandli too. There had been an order by court on the Om Mandli, because a lot of us would run away and come to the institution, Om Mandli institution. But she did not, Gange Dadi did not want any such, another objection raised on the institution because of her, because she had run away from home. So Baba told her that she should go back home. And so she went back home then. And my brother had the feeling, my brother who was a little soft towards me, he did realize too that she had, I had deceived him. So once I went back again home, then you can imagine what my family did with me. They tied chains on my feet. They made me an animal so that I will not run away again. When I would have to go to the bathroom to have bath, they would open the chains. But once I would come out, they would again put chains on my feet and tie the chains to the legs of the bed. So she says, I did not really mind, because in the Bhagavad Gita, I would read that the gopis were stopped from going to meet Lord Krishna, and they were also chained. So she thought that my part is also the same. She says, I did not mind. But then as the days passed by, I started yearning to go to Baba again. One of my sisters then came from abroad to see me, and then she says, I tried to change myself. I actually started playing another role, and I did not show that much of interest in going to Om Mandli. So then they removed the chains from my feet, and I tried to live a normal life. But 2 years
ड्रामा को
I
देख
lived
करके,
like
पूरा
that.
पाठ को देख
But
करके,
inside me, I still had
अपना
all
बाबा
my
को दिन
connection
आएगा जो जरूर मैं
with Baba.
आपके गोद में आ जाऊंगी.
And I had this faith and this belief that one
तो
day
वहां
I
से भी
will
हम
be
चले गए
in Baba's lap.
एक दिन, फिर जाके बाबा से मिले.
And somehow one day I managed to go
इस
and
तरह
meet
से
Baba
मतलब मेरा
again.
2 साल तक जो है पाठ
So for
काफी
two
चला,
years I was like trying
संघर्ष था.
as much as possible. It
फिर
was a
एंटी ओमंडली
struggle
वाले
once
चुप थोड़ी रहते
to
हैं.
go meet Baba and run away
हम
and
लोगों
come
के
back
माताओं
again.
को कहने लगे कि चलो गवर्नमेंट के सेक्रेटरी ऑफिस में भूख हड़ताल चल के करो, तो आप लोगों को लड़कियां मिलेंगी. वो
All
सबको
our
पकड़ पकड़
relatives
के ले आए.
told our parents that they should
अब जब
go
भूख हड़ताल
to the
करने की एक
government's
एक बेचारी बारी बारी भूख हड़ताल
office,
करे, तो उनको सबको भय होता था हम यहाँ कैसे लेटेंगे, कैसे भूख हड़ताल करेंगे.
that they
अच्छा तो
should
नहीं
go on a
लगता था
hunger
उन लोगों को.
strike. They told our parents that they
फिर
should go on
उन्होंने
a hunger
नियुक्त किया
strike
एक
so
कराची में
that
एक
they can
बहुत
get their
बड़ा
daughters back.
लोहे का व्यापारी था इंडिया में. उनका बंगला कराची में क्लिफ्टन में था,
Now, there was
जहाँ
a
हमारे
very big
ब्रह्मा बाबा का
businessman
बंगला था, वहीं
who
उनका
had
बंगला
business
था,
in steel,
आमने सामने.
and he had a big bungalow in
उसको
Karachi.
उन्होंने
His
मुकर्रर किया
bungalow was just near
कि
Baba's
आप इनके
bungalow.
बीच में पढ़ करके समझो और फैसला करो.
So
मना सरकार
everyone
की हार खा
approached
गई.
him. Even the
भाई कोई
government had
महाराष्ट्र के जरिए जा रही है रोडों
kind
पे,
of
कोई कुछ
failed
वजीर की
of
बुआ
from
को बुला रही
stopping
है,
the
वजीर को
daughters from
गाली दे
going
रही है, कोई कुछ कर रही है.
to
आखिर ये क्या
Omanli.
सरिश्ता है.
So they all wondered what
वो भी
kind of
समझ नहीं
institution
पाई,
is
तो
this,
उन्होंने
because
उनको
even the
कहा कि
government
आप समझो,
wondered,
क्योंकि ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट
because the girls were
तुरंत
not
जाने
ready to
लगी.
listen to the to the
3 दिन हम
to
लोग
the
उनके पास
judge
थे और 3
or
दिन
the
हमारे घर वाले
advocates
उनके पास थे.
or the legal representatives. They were not ready to listen to anyone. They were
इतना सुनाया और आपको. खैर वो घड़ी सुहानी आ गई.
so finally
उन्होंने
that
हम लोगों
golden
से पूछा
moment came
आपको क्या यहाँ मिलता है.
when the authorities asked us,
दादा ने आपको कौन
what
सा
is it
ज्ञान
that
फरमाया, क्या
you get
सिखाया,
here, the Om Mandli? What knowledge do you hear from
क्या क्या आप लोगों के जीवन में
Dada
परिवर्तन
Brahma
आया.
Baba? And
एक
how
एक से वो पूछते
has
थे
it
आगे.
changed your life?
उसके
And
ऊपर
why
बहुत
is it that you want to
लगे,
come here? And
क्योंकि जो
this
रियल चीज़ है वो
businessman
तो
was
रियल
like a
रहेगी ना.
mediator who came to, who
हम लोगों के
approached
घर
us
वाले जो
to
थे वो
talk to
उनके
us
पास आते
on
भी थे कि हमें
behalf
दिन का प्रबंध था.
of our
हमारा भोजन
parents.
बाबा के घर से आ जाता था. अब तीसरे दिन जजमेंट होनी थी.
And he was
बगीचे में बड़े बड़े
kind
जो
of
है
given
अखबार
authority
वाले
to
चारों तरफ से
decide
खर्च गए
what should be
कि देखो
done in this
आज क्या फैसला
situation. And on
इनका
the
होता
third
है.
day, the judgment was to be passed about
तो फैसले
what is
में
going to happen about the girls who want
उन्होंने
to
यही
go to
बताया,
Omanli. And in his
भारत की
judgment,
ये सच्ची देवियां हैं
he said in his statement that
और
these
आज
are
ऐसी
the
देवियों
true
की भारत को
deities
आवश्यकता
of
है.
India, and India needs deities
इनके
like
माता
them.
पिता अज्ञानी है जो इनको रोकते हैं.
The parents of these daughters are
ऐसी
ignorant
देवियों को
to
रोकना
stop
नहीं
them
चाहिए.
from
ये
going
है
to
हमारी
Om
जजमेंट.
Manli. This is my judgment that these
तालियां
girls
बजने
are
लगी, सब लोग
deities.
हैरान होने लगे. अब
Everybody
हमारे घर वाले तो रोने
kind of
लगे.
applauded and started
इन मुझे ने इनको भी
clapping
जादू
because
लगा दिया शायद, जो इनके
they
फेवर
just
में
thought it
जजमेंट
was a
हो.
very great judgment. But the
जादू की तो
people
कोई
of
बात
my
ही नहीं थी, जो
house
रियल बात है वो
actually
तो यहाँ
started
मालूम.
crying because they
साहब
thought
मैं
that
इन देवियों
we
को
have
15
probably
दिन के
put
लिए छुट्टी
magic on
देता
this
हूँ.
pen too.
आप लोगों के साथ जाएंगी और 15 दिन के बाद में अगर
They
आपने
thought that the
वापस नहीं
influence of
भेजा
Om
है
Mandli had
तो हम
also
इनको बुला लेंगे.
kind of shown its color on this
3 दिन.
businessman too, who was supposed to doing the
अब
right
यहाँ से
judgment.
हमारे बंधन थोड़े समझो 2 साल के बाद हल्के होते हैं.
But then from here onwards,
आप लोग तो
my
भाग्यशाली हो.
bondage became a bit
आप
less
लोगों को कोई रोक टोक है क्या किसी की?
after 2 years.
नहीं ना.
So Dadi's asking,
नहीं
does
तो उस
any of
समय में
you
इस
here
बात का
have any
जानकारी जो
bondage?
था
Life for you is much
बड़ी
easier.
संवेदनशील थी.
By the time of
जितनी
establishment,
सत्संग में आने
it was
लगी,
very
किसका पति,
different
किसका माँ बाप, किसका
because
कोई, किसका कोई,
somebody's
मतलब
husband or
बहुत चीजें चली.
father or uncle
और विदेश तक
would
अखबार
definitely
भी निकल
stop
गया
the
कि सिंध
girls
में एक बहुत बड़ा
from
जादूगर पैदा
going
हुआ है,
into Om Mandli,
जिन्होंने इतनी
because it
कन्याओं
was
को, माताओं को अपने
very
पास रखा
well
है.
known that there was a great
ऐसी ऐसी
magician
बातें
born
पेपरों तक
in
भी पहुंची.
Sindh. His name was
तो
Brahma
फॉरेन से
Baba,
भी हमारे
and
रिश्तेदार
he was
चिट्ठियां
well
लिखते थे
known
इनको
for
रोको.
taking away the daughters and mothers of the different houses. And we would.
फिर हम लोग गए जब उनके साथ में, फिर उनको समझाया, अगर आपका स्नेह है हम लोगों से, देखो हम बाबा को तो कभी नहीं छोड़ेंगे.
So we tried to explain to our parents that we will never leave Baba or God or knowledge. We will leave you if necessary, but we will not leave Baba. So if you love us, you give us the permission to come and go to Om Mandli. Because if you stop us from going to Om Mandli, we will not come back. So it's better if you don't stop us and let us go and come. So then once again we were given permission letters from our parents, much to their dismay, much to their disappointment, to attend Om Mandli. But Brahma Baba would tell us that charity begins at home. Baba never told us to fight or go against the wishes of our members in the house. They're the ones who actually were putting obstacles in our way or were trying to stop us from going to Om Mandli. But Baba never told us to stop going home or to try to go against their wishes. Baba told us to go home and to talk to the people in our house, to give them knowledge, to explain them, to be patient with them. But a lot of effort and influence and a lot of coaxing, we were able to bring our parents to meet Baba. And for 1 week they came and spent with Baba. They saw our routine in the Om Mandli and they met Baba face to face the first time. And that time my mother actually stood up in the whole audience and joined her hands in front of Baba and said, "Please forgive me. I did not know the kind of work or the kind of knowledge that was given here, and I actually stopped my daughter from coming here, not knowing the benefit that was being done here." So Baba says, yes, of course, I forgive you. But now your job from now on is to give this knowledge to the people around you, and so that you can kind of undo the disservice that has been done through you all this while. Baba said that you have to leave Sindh now, leave Hyderabad, and go to the different states and give the knowledge. And she said, we told Baba, how can we go? We were very puzzled. How can we go? We have never left our own city, our own town to go out. And the Baba said, no, that you have to go to the Red Fort in Delhi and actually put Baba's flag up there. Make a plan how you will go to Delhi and do service so that Baba's flag is flying high in the Red Fort in Delhi. So we had a very unique role in the time of establishment and the time of to do Baba's service at that time. Today you have reached Baba's home at a time when there are lakhs of children. And at that time, Baba had this inspiration that my children from the foreign land will surely come one day. And today we are seeing practical that you are here. So we are very happy to have you here. We are very happy to meet you and see you here and see Baba's vision and dream come true.